Hey everyone, today is Monday, February 9th, 2026, and I want to walk you through exactly what's heading our way between now and February 16th. This isn't just another winter week. We're looking at a significant shift in the atmospheric pattern that's going to bring heavy snow to some regions, brutal cold to others, and for a lucky few, maybe a brief break from winter's grip. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive deep into what this week has in store for the United States. What's fascinating about this particular forecast period is how dramatically different conditions will be across various parts of the country. We've got Arctic air that's been sitting up in Canada just waiting for the right opportunity to plunge southward. And folks, that opportunity is coming. At the same time, we're watching moisture systems developing in the Pacific that are going to interact with this cold air in some really interesting ways. The jet stream configuration we're dealing with right now is setting up a classic winter battleground. Cold air wants to move south and east, while milder Pacific air is trying to push inland from the west. Where these air masses collide, that's where we're going to see our most significant weather events unfold. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now let's move on. Let me start with the Northeast because this region is about to get absolutely hammered. We're looking at a potent coastal storm system that's going to develop late Tuesday into Wednesday, and this thing has all the ingredients for a memorable snowfall event. Starting with New York City, I'm tracking 8 to 14 inches of accumulation between Tuesday night and Thursday morning. This isn't going to be one of those light, fluffy snows either. We're talking about heavy, wet snow that's going to make travel treacherous and knock down tree branches. The mixing line between snow and rain is going to be critical here, and right now it looks like the city stays cold enough to remain primarily snow. Boston is in an even more precarious position. I'm forecasting 12 to 18 inches for the metro area, with some models suggesting we could see localized amounts approaching 2 feet in the northern suburbs. Philadelphia sits right on that crucial rain-snow line. The city itself might see 4 to 8 inches, but head northwest into the suburbs and you're looking at significantly higher totals, possibly 10 to 15 inches. This is going to be one of those storms where 20 miles makes all the difference in the world. Moving into interior New England, this is where things get really serious. Vermont and New Hampshire are positioned perfectly for this system. Burlington could pick up 15 to 22 inches, while the higher elevations in the Green Mountains and White Mountains might see storm totals exceeding 30 inches. Ski resorts are going to be ecstatic, but travel through these areas from Wednesday through Friday morning is going to be extremely hazardous. The cold that follows this system is equally noteworthy. By Friday morning, we're looking at temperatures in the single digits across much of interior New England, with wind chills potentially dropping to 15 to 25 below zero. Even coastal areas like Boston and Portland are going to wake up to temperatures in the low teens with wind chills near zero. The Mid-Atlantic region is going to experience two distinct weather events during this forecast period. The first is that coastal storm I mentioned that affects the Northeast. Washington, D.C. sits in a challenging forecast zone. Current indications suggest 3 to 7 inches, but if the storm tracks just 50 miles further west, those numbers could drop significantly with more rain mixing in. Baltimore is looking at similar numbers, 4 to 8 inches, with the best chance for higher totals north and west of the city. Richmond might only see a coating to 2 inches as warmer air works in more quickly at that latitude. But here's what really catches my attention for this region. A second system arriving late in the weekend on February 15th-16th. This one is still developing, but early indications suggest another round of snow, possibly 3 to 6 inches across the region, with the potential for more depending on the track. We're going to need to watch this one closely. Temperature-wise, the Mid-Atlantic gets cold, but not as brutally as areas further north. Overnight lows will drop into the upper teens to low 20s Thursday and Friday nights, with daytime highs struggling to reach the low 30s. Now let's shift our focus to the Midwest, because this is where the real Arctic air is going to settle in and stick around. We're not talking about a quick cold snap here. This is a sustained period of well below average temperatures that's going to test heating systems and patients alike. Chicago is going to experience this in full force. After some light snow on Monday night bringing 1 to 3 inches, the city goes into the deep freeze. High temperatures from Wednesday through Saturday won't make it above 15 degrees, with several days potentially staying in single digits all day long. Overnight lows are going to be brutal. I'm talking about 0 to 10 below zero, with wind chills potentially reaching 25 to 35 below zero. This is dangerous cold, the kind that requires serious precautions if you need to be outside. Minneapolis and St. Paul are looking at even more extreme conditions. This region is accustomed to cold winters, but this stretch is going to be notable even by Minnesota standards. High temperatures Wednesday through Friday will struggle to reach 0 degrees, with actual air temperatures overnight potentially dropping to 20 to 30 below zero. Wind chills could approach 40 to 50 below zero at times. This is life-threatening cold if you're not prepared. Detroit falls somewhere in between these two cities. Snowfall looks light, maybe 2 to 4 inches total for the week, but temperatures are going to be harsh. Highs in the single digits to low teens, overnight lows around 5 below to 5 above zero, with wind chills consistently in the 15 to 25 below zero range. Milwaukee faces similar conditions to Chicago. Sustained cold with occasional snow squalls off Lake Michigan that could bring additional accumulations of 2 to 5 inches, particularly on the north and east sides of the metro area. Cleveland and the southern shore of Lake Erie are in an interesting position. Lake effect snow is going to be a factor here, especially Wednesday through Friday, when Arctic air screams across the relatively warm lake waters. The city itself might see 4 to 7 inches from lake effect, but the snowbelt south and east of the city could pick up 10 to 18 inches in the heaviest bands. The Great Plains region is where this Arctic air mass originates before spreading eastward, and communities here are going to feel its full force early in the week. Denver actually catches a bit of a break in terms of cold. The city will see below-average temperatures, but nothing extreme, with highs in the 20s and 30s. However, a quick-moving system on Tuesday could bring 3 to 6 inches of snow to the metro area and Front Range. Kansas City is looking at a coating to 2 inches of snow early in the week, followed by temperatures that plummet. Highs Wednesday and Thursday will only reach the single digits, with overnight lows dropping to 5 to 10 below zero. Wind chills will make it feel like 20 to 30 below zero. Omaha and Des Moines are in similar boats. Minimal snowfall, maybe an inch or two, but absolutely frigid temperatures. We're talking about multiple days where high temperatures don't escape the single digits, and overnight lows drop into the double digits below zero. Even Oklahoma City and Tulsa, which are much further south, are going to feel this Arctic invasion. These cities will see overnight lows drop into the single digits to low teens by Thursday and Friday nights, cold enough to threaten pipes and create travel hazards if any moisture is around. The Southeast largely escapes the worst of this winter pattern, but don't think you're getting off completely free. Atlanta is looking at a cold rain event midweek, with temperatures hovering in the upper 30s to low 40s. There's an outside chance some of this could mix with or change to snow in the northern suburbs Wednesday night, but any accumulation would be minimal, maybe a dusting to an inch at most. Charlotte sits in a slightly better position for snow. I'm watching Wednesday night into Thursday morning closely. If temperatures can drop just a few degrees more than currently forecast, we could see 1 to 3 inches across the metro area. This is going to be a close call. Nashville might see some snow mixing in with rain Wednesday night, but accumulations look light, probably under an inch for most areas. The bigger story for the Southeast is the cold that follows any precipitation. Friday and Saturday mornings are going to feature widespread temperatures in the low to mid-20s, even down into parts of Georgia and Alabama. This is cold enough to damage sensitive vegetation and create concerns for any exposed pipes. Further south, we're not talking about snow, but we are talking about some unusually cold conditions for this time of year. Houston is looking at overnight lows dropping into the upper 20s to around 30 degrees by Friday and Saturday mornings. Freeze warnings are likely for areas north and west of the city where temperatures could dip into the mid-20s. Dallas and Fort Worth face colder conditions, with overnight lows Thursday through Saturday mornings potentially dropping into the low to mid-20s. Any lingering moisture from rain earlier in the week could create black ice situations on bridges and overpasses for the Thursday morning commute. New Orleans and the Gulf Coast will see a dramatic temperature drop as well. After highs in the 60s and 70s early in the week, we're looking at overnight lows potentially reaching the upper 30s to low 40s by the weekend, with some inland areas possibly touching freezing. While much of the country deals with cold and coastal storms, the Mountain West is getting consistent snow that's going to make skiers and snowboarders very happy. Salt Lake City is in line for 6 to 10 inches between multiple systems moving through during the forecast period. The Wasatch Mountains could see 12 to 20 inches, with some favored locations potentially exceeding 2 feet. Boise and the central Idaho mountains are looking at similar patterns, consistent snowfall adding up to significant totals. The city itself might pick up 4 to 8 inches, while mountain locations see considerably more. The Colorado Rockies continue their excellent season with another round of 10 to 18 inches possible in the high country, particularly in the northern mountains near Steamboat Springs and in the central mountains around Vail and Breckenridge. The Pacific Northwest stays locked in an active pattern, but temperatures are mild enough that most precipitation falls as rain at lower elevations. Seattle is looking at heavy rain, potentially 2 to 4 inches between multiple systems, with snow levels staying above 3,000 feet for most of the period. The Cascades will see heavy snow, though. We're talking about 2 to 4 feet possible in the highest elevations. Portland faces similar conditions, with rain in the city but significant snow in the mountains. Mount Hood could pick up 3 to 5 feet during this 7-day period. Spokane sits in the transition zone and will see several inches of snow, probably 6 to 12 inches total, along with very cold temperatures for the region, with overnight lows dropping into the single digits to low teens. After a relatively quiet start to February, California is about to see a pattern change. A series of storm systems will impact the state, bringing much-needed precipitation. San Francisco and the Bay Area are looking at 1 to 3 inches of rain between several systems, with the Sierra Nevada picking up 2 to 4 feet of snow above 7,000 feet. Lake Tahoe resorts are going to see excellent conditions. Los Angeles gets in on the action too, with widespread rain likely Thursday through Saturday, potentially totaling 1 to 2 inches across the metro area, with higher amounts in the mountains. San Diego sees lighter amounts, probably half an inch to an inch, but any rain is beneficial given the dry conditions that have persisted. This 7-day period from February 9th through February 16th represents a significant winter weather event for much of the United States. We're looking at heavy snow in the Northeast, dangerous cold in the Midwest and Great Plains, and active weather patterns in both the Mountain West and Pacific regions. The most important thing you can do is stay informed and prepared. If you're in an area expecting heavy snow, make sure you have supplies on hand and avoid travel during the worst of the storm. If you're in the path of this Arctic air, take it seriously. This is the kind of cold that can be dangerous if you're not prepared. I'll be monitoring all of these systems closely and providing updates as conditions evolve. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any important updates. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.